The type of equipment that, and this is a big ticket item for road agencies. That truck sitting there is nowadays is going to be on the order of $300,000. Fully equipped with all the current automation everybody expects. You know, like you want to know, when is that truck? That truck never went down my road. Most of the road commissions now know, and county road departments, we know that went down the road, and we know they were spreading salt. And you know, because sometimes it's not real evident, because it might be still snowing and they went through, and you know, the driver comes through 30 minutes later and it's all white, and they're, you know, because of just drifting and what have you.
Steve, can I add to that real quick? So just real quick here in Kalamazoo, the Road Commission in Kalamazoo County just recently at our last board meeting even had a presentation from our team. And we actually have within all of our vehicles dash cams as well, including a vehicle that I use, as well as the global positioning system, or GPS, that allows us to ensure that our trucks are where they need to be. And when folks call us and say, hey, you hit our mailbox, we certainly have some dash cam footage to help us with that as well. So I just wanted to share that innovation, along with the cost of our vehicles, that's incorporated in that, but it's been a very useful tool with our vehicles and equipment during winter maintenance operations.
So you retrofitted the old ones too?
We did.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
Because that's part of the struggle that road agencies have. They have trucks that they're running that are 20 years old. The technology's not in there. Do they invest the money to put it in that old truck, or are they going to just keep expanding the fleet with new trucks over time? But that's a big ticket item. That's why I put it at the top of the list. Sign and signal trucks. Usually every county is maintaining some level of their own signing, if not entirely. And again, signals range depending on the complexity. Even a county like Kent County, I believe it is, they don't have their own signal crews, right? Grand Rapids maintains all the signals for Kent County. Kent County is a big road commission, but they still do it that way. In Washtenaw, we had our own signal crews, and actually MDOT hired us to maintain the MDOT flashers and signals on the state trunk line system. So it varies by the capability of the road commission and or county road department, and you know, so that might be quite a variable. Obviously, there's pickup trucks for the supervisors and a lot of the inspectors and other staff for the road commission. Graders in Washtenaw, half of our roads were gravel, so we had a lot of graders. 10 graders is typically what we needed to keep up with the cycle of grading gravel roads in an expedited way, so we could get dust control on it. Evactors, again, more urban counties would have that kind of truck, very expensive truck, high maintenance, but you need it when you need it. And that is, you need to be able to clean out all the catch basins that are accumulating all this sediment and dirt on a routine cycle. Pavement patching equipment, mowing. There's a lot of other pieces of equipment, but just for example, when I was at Washtenaw, we had like 100 rolling pieces of equipment, we call it, you know, licensed pieces of equipment versus a grader that, you know, they're not licensed. Yes?
The road agencies receive Act 51 monies to fund their agency. Are there any funds dedicated to certain types of equipment or processes, or is it all block granted and the local agency decides how to allocate that money?
Like the latter. Yes, it varies. I mean, it's up to the road agency to figure out what's the right mix. Sometimes when you have a state contract, that helps a road agency. It depends. Some people are frustrated with that contract. Your county doesn't have a state contract, right?
We do not.
Washtenaw did. So what we would end up doing is we'd buy new trucks more routinely on the state budget, use them on the state roads, and after they're depreciated, they would come to the county system and we'd replace them again on the state. So a lot of times you'll see really new trucks on the freeway system. Why? Because that's what's going on. It's a big hit on the budget when it's $300,000 a pop, and a grader. What's a grader cost now? 400?
400 plus.
400 plus for a grader. So that's why you see those rusty things going down the road. They're very expensive to go and replace those things, but yet they're very useful, and you got to have them when when that time is right to get the roads shaped up in the spring and get them, another dust control operation.
So the Michigan Transportation Fund revenue is really our main source for our operating expenses. So there is no specific grant for equipment. I can tell you here in Kalamazoo, we have created a 5-year plan to ensure that we are working on our assets, which is our equipment as well, so that we can keep the fleet in good condition in a rolling 5-year area to the degree that the budget, that Michigan Transportation Fund revenue can help support it. So I think equipment is another key piece of running a road agency and keeping that 5-year plan intact so that you have a good fleet moving forward. So just wanted to share that.
Has there been any example of federal appropriation? We get federal appropriations for fire equipment, FEMA fire grants. Any federal appropriations for Department of Roads? I've never heard of any, but.
No. They're always there's even more now, but there's many different buckets of money that the federal dollars are earmarked for, and you can only spend it on that particular type of activity. And, but none of them included equipment. They didn't include radio systems and technology like that. So the road commission, the road department has to find a way, if it's a priority, how are they gonna get that accomplished? Are they gonna, cause they either lease equipment or they buy equipment. And our county was one that we routinely bought. We very rarely got into lease arrangements. But, yes?
Yeah, a question, it's a personal one. You mentioned that Washtenaw had approximately 11 graders for
Yeah.
Gravel roads. How many do we have in Kalamazoo?
So in Kalamazoo, we have 109 miles of gravel roads, which I think is significantly less than Washtenaw and Oakland County even have across the state, and we have 3 graders.
We had somewhere like 750 miles of gravel. And some of them were carrying 2,000 cars a day.
Wow.
And so they'd fall apart all the time. So we'd be putting like 4 applications of dust control on, plus spring, getting them dressed up in the spring and then, trying to hit those roads. In that cycle, we had to take control by having the graders to get the job done when because we're really playing the weather in the summer. If it's a big rainstorm, well, you don't go out there and grade the road before that. You try to hold off, but you're also trying to make all these different 750 miles graded, dust controlled at the rate that generally the dust control is an arrangement between the township and the road commission. Township, in my experience, the township bought the material, the brine, and the road commission did all the, got the brine on the road to, gets in tanks and then gets transported when it's needed, but then all the preparation as well. So anyways, this is a big ongoing piece. And when you have all those pieces of equipment, you need mechanic shop to keep them up. And that's hard to come by now. They compete with the private sector on the mechanics salaries and what have you. But that's always been an ongoing issue with road commission.